Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I believe the need for speed. High five. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, the goose to my Maverick, Margo D. Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. I actually have only seen Top Gun twice, so I don't know all the words. But I like it.
Yeah. No, we're going to have a super good time. We are dorking out about 1986's Top Gun, and we're going to talk about Top Gun Maverick, too, because It is now available for streaming. You have to buy it, which we did because we're big fans. But we're going to start with Top Gun. It's directed by Tony Scott. It's written by Jim Cash and Jack Epps Jr. It stars Tom Cruise, like peak 80s Tom Cruise.
Cruisiest.
His Tom Cruisiest. Kelly McGillis. Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
Sigh. Heavy sigh.
Yeah.
All the hot dudes in this one.
Oh my, so many hot dudes. Okay. Anthony Edwards. How much do we love Anthony Edwards?
Love.
So much.
Still.
Exactly. Love him. Tom Skerritt. Meg Ryan's in there. Michael Ironside. John Stockwell. Who else? Rick Rossovich. Tim Robbins. Rossovich? What did I say?
Rick Rossovich.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Yeah.
He was on a roll at the time in the mid 80s. He was doing a bunch of shit.
Yeah. I always remember Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
He's funny as shit.
He's so funny in that movie. Yeah. So you've only seen this movie twice. I've seen it more times than I would like to admit, although I hadn't seen it in a really long time. Like I didn't even rewatch before Maverick came out. So when I watched it today was the first time I'd seen it in a really, really long time. So you didn't see it in the theater at all?
No. So I have a gap couple of years in the 80s where I was a very obnoxious teenager and I hated anything that was popular. So I wasn't quite goth, but I was kind of close to it. And I didn't like anything popular. So I wouldn't go, if everybody saw a thing, I didn't see it. And so that was Top Gun.
Yeah.
And then for book versus movie, believe it or not, movie is based on a magazine article.
Yes,
and
right.
Margo, my co-host, is from San Diego. The movie's based there. She's seen it 1,000 times. And she was like, you've got to be kidding me. Let's do it. And I freaking loved it. I was like, this is the most enjoyable thing ever. I get it. Like why people love it. It's these gorgeous people.
Yes.
It's, of course, the gay subtext is fun.
Yes.
It's, it's rah-rah military, but
for sure.
So what? I mean, I think it's San Diego never looks more cool than it does here.
It looks like I'm like I want to live there. That's I'm like I want to live in Charlie's little beach house on the corner. Like I'm like that.
Margo
looks like heaven.
Lives like a few blocks away.
That looks like heaven.
She says it is. She lives in a little cottage, like what's the word I'm thinking of?
Like a little bungalow.
Bungalow, thank you. Yeah, like she lives in a neighborhood where like tourists walk by all the time. They're like, oh my God, this is adorable. Everybody drink. That's what they do. Yeah.
By the way, that's what we're doing today, by the way. This is a cocktail show.
It's a cocktail hour. And anyway, so like I said, it was the soundtrack you couldn't escape. This was such a famous movie in the 80s. Everybody saw it. Everybody had the soundtrack.
Yes.
You couldn't escape it. Cruise became a superstar after this. Like everything he did was a big deal. I think he stopped taking big risks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Until the 90s, then he started taking a little more risks again. But everything he did for a while was just like, he did Cocktail. He did just everything was a big deal.
We've done an episode on Cocktail if you want to go back and rewatch that or re-listen to that.
But he's a movie star.
Yeah. He
radiates it. Yeah.
Look, Margo and I know he's a creep. Like Tom Cruise is a creep. We get it. But he is such a movie star, and you are right. This movie made so much fucking money. Like First of all, I looked it up. It was made for $15 million, which is like nothing now. That's like what they spend on catering for Marvel movies. Like,
it's a whole salary for one person.
Exactly.
Now. And that's just to get them on the set. That's not even the profits and shit.
It made over $350 million. This movie was the number one movie of 1986. It made so much fucking money. You could not get away from the soundtrack and all the music videos. And I was 15. I loved Top Gun when I saw it. I was all in. And then definitely like college Sonia was like, fuck Top Gun. It's military propaganda and it's total dude movie and fuck that movie. And so I didn't watch it for a really long time. And I'm here to tell you, this movie's super fucking watchable. Yes, it's military propaganda.
Sure.
I super love it.
Yeah. I mean, the Kelly McGillis part, it's on the one hand ridiculous, but on the other hand, they hired Kelly McGillis for that part. They could have hired a dumb actress. They could have hired someone very cheesy, and they picked someone very smart. I mean, they do have some chemistry in there. Like, especially there's a scene that was tacked on because there weren't enough sex scenes where they're in an elevator together, and like they actually have some chemistry going there. Like, there's some stuff that's good. I mean, he and Anthony Edwards have all the chemistry in the world.
And him and Val Kilmer.
Oh my God. And the volley, all the stuff people told me I knew what it was. I mean, it's not like you know what it is, but it's so goddamn enjoyable. It really just moves along. It's a movie that people went to over and over again over the summer too. I remember that. Like, people went back multiple times.
Yes.
And then it was on, because there's barely any, it's like, and also what I appreciate about it, and also it's like almost in Maverick, it's back when sex scenes were just like these flowy in the wind, long shots. Like, you didn't really see anything. It's just a lot of kissing.
The sex scene is
so chaste.
It's so, I'm like, this is not sexy. Like, it's all shadows and tongue. That's all it is.
Yes.
And I'm like, no thanks. I'm not interested. It doesn't turn me on.
It's what a teenage me could handle.
Totally. And I was like, they're not having sex, Margo. They're making love.
Right. I know, but that's what they could show on TV too.
Totally.
So that was part of it.
Yes.
And I don't think they say if I can remember, but I don't know if they even curse all that much.
I was like, is this movie rated PG or PG-13? I'm looking it up and the rating isn't listed here, so I'm just gonna.
And it's Cruise, so this man. I didn't say this first, and I forget who said it first, but it's like he is bound and determined to kill himself on camera just for our enjoyment.
Yes,
he will do anything on camera. Just to get the shot in.
This movie's rated PG.
Yeah.
PG.
I'm not surprised. I don't think they barely drink. Like, they're in that bar, but they're barely touching their beers. Like, nobody smokes. Like, I think it's seriously.
It's Pixar movies innocent. Might be rated PG. I'm looking that shit up.
It's pretty innocent. It's like, it's just about these people and but it's also about working for something and teamwork and sacrifice and, and also about loss and dealing with loss and being about something bigger than yourself and the difference between confidence and arrogance.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. There are bigger messages that are there that I appreciate. And nobody told me about the man candy. Like, I was like, I wish one person like, no, you're going to be so turned on. The stupid stuff's not going to matter. I wish one person that told me that.
We all get it. The volleyball scene is iconic. Like,
well, that in the showers, like they're in the sauna half the time. Nobody told me.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. Yeah, by the way, I looked it up. Movies like The Incredibles are also PG. So this movie has the same ratings as some Pixar movies, is what I'm saying.
You could watch it with your kids. Like, it's nothing. Yeah. And I mean, it's funny. It's very entertaining. Mm-hmm. He's great on camera.
He is.
Meg Ryan,
adorable. Everybody drink. She's so cute.
Oh my God, you want to put her in your pocket.
Yeah. They started dating in real life after filming this. That's so cute.
They're so cute.
Yes.
Tom Skerritt is great. The motorcycle stuff is great. It's really, I think I watched it like 2 or 3 times that weekend. Like when I first saw it.
Because it's insanely fucking watchable. And like when 15-year-old Sonia just liked, like, I liked the eye candy. I liked the music. I thought it was very entertaining. It's very like fist pump, kind of movie. And now I watched it again today like I said, for the first time in years. And some of the like dramatic stuff that was so silly to me at the time works a little better for me now. Maybe because I'm older. I was like, the movie hasn't changed. I have. So I'm like, yeah, like some of those things click a little different. There's still things where I'm like, this is creepy. Like, he does this whole singing to her in a bar to like try to impress her. He follows her into a bathroom. He comes on like really strong and you're like, dude, back off. Like, come on. Right. Now. There's stuff like that where I'm like, gross. And actually their relationship is my least favorite thing about the movie, but it's insanely, the movie just fucking moves. And like the action sequences, this movie's directed by Tony Scott. The dude knows how to do action, obviously. And like, those flight sequences they're dope. They're super tense. The characters are great. Like they all have very defined personalities that like click. Val Kilmer is so good as Iceman. He's not wrong about everything he's saying. So it was such an interesting movie to me at 15 because in a different kind of movie, Iceman is like a villain. Like he's the bad guy for Maverick and Goose to beat, but he's not. He's actually a really good pilot and he's really smart. And he calls Maverick out on his bullshit throughout the entire movie. And he does it again in Maverick, which I love.
And do you want to hear something?
Yes.
Okay. So I found out actually a little bit of trivia that blew my mind, if you don't mind.
No, I love it.
Okay. So Top Gun is based on the actual first Top Gun, because they say it in Maverick, it was based in 1969 during Vietnam War. Yeah. But that's not true. It happened, there was a competition 1949 after World War II. And there was a group of pilots, and they were basically testing equipment. This is just before they go into the Korean War. And these group of pilots had all this equipment they were going to try out. It was out in the Vegas desert. And there's different levels of the equipment. And amongst the men that were competing were the Tuskegee Airmen. This was an African-American group. And they had the crappiest planes and the crappiest equipment. And it was a 3-day competition. They won.
Interesting.
And the records were hidden. They won. They go to the hotel to pick up their prize at the Flamingo. I think it was the Flamingo in Vegas. They were not allowed to go into the hotel in the entrance because it was segregated. They had to go through the kitchen.
So fucked up.
They got a picture with the trophy and then they had to leave. And they hid the results until 1995.
That is fucking bananas. Right? That is like bananas.
Right. I mean, so like this is like there's so much like hidden history like happens in the world. But they didn't have one for 20 years.
Where's that movie, by the way?
Right? I mean, isn't that like, and so it wasn't until I think last September that there was this actual like presentation to the men. There was only 2 of them that are alive now.
Oh my gosh.
But so one of those men still alive, his last name is Schwartz. I think it's Harry Schwartz. In the 50s, after he served in, I'm sorry, not in the 50s, before that, maybe it was before that. Anyway, sometime between this competition and before he goes to war, he's in America, he's flying somewhere, and he's in terrible weather, and he's in the Kentucky mountains, and he crashes, and he's like, holy shit, what do I do? I'm in the Appalachian Mountains. I'm in Hillbilly Central. I'm a black man. Oh I don't know where I am.
What's scarier, being in Hillbilly Central or crashing?
Right. I'm injured. I'm black. I don't know anybody, right? and he winds up on like this, let's say, I'm just going to say Juniper Hill just because big business is popping in my head. But a family finds him, and the guy, it's a father with a gun and his kids. And he's like, what the hell? And the man's like, come in, we'll take care of you. Because you can tell he's injured and he's a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And the family takes care of him. And they take care of his wounds, and they're all, they all become friendly and stuff like that. Years later, he's listening to a song, and it's called Coal Miner's Daughter. And it's about this girl from this family. And he's like, I think I was at that mountain. I think that was that. It was Loretta Lynn's family.
Oh, my God.
And so years later, he went up to her and like, do you remember me? And she goes, oh, my God, of course. So then he was in a parade in her town. And like everybody remember, like, yeah, we remember you. You like crashed in her.
This story's crazy.
Right?
Hello, Hollywood. Where are these movies? I want to see them.
This is the first Top Gunner, by the way. That's my whole point.
That's amazing.
It's like, what?
That's an amazing story.
That's why, anyway, that's my transition from Top Gun then to Maverick. But
so now I want to watch Coal Miner's Daughter, then
Yes, exactly.
Top Gun, then Top Gun Maverick.
And then Coal Miner's Daughter needs a scene where there's a plane crash. And they take care of this man. He goes, you're not going to fucking believe what happened to me a few years ago in Vegas.
Don't y'all see? Coal Miner's Daughter is part of the Top Gun cinematic universe. Thank you, Margo.
It's the IT of everything.
No, that is a crazy story.
Right? Right. Anyway.
I love it.
It's on the internet. No, it was like on history.net or something like that. But yeah.
I love it. That's so good. So you've watched this like a few times. So is the eye candy your favorite part?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, I am all 80s Val Kilmer.
Yes. Same.
I'm pro Anthony Edwards, just about anything then and now. And I think I have my problems with Tom Cruise in what he does.
Yes.
With his personal life. We don't have to go there.
Yeah.
But with his screen charisma, I think there's nothing you can question. I think he's amazing on camera.
He is. He's just a movie star, and
yeah.
He's really, really good in this. Like I said, I don't
I get my money's worth.
Yes. I don't love the love story part of this movie.
There's very few love stories that I believe him in, to be honest.
This is true.
I like he and Anthony Edwards, great. He and Paul Newman, great. He and Dustin Hoffman, great.
Mm-hmm. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and I'm not saying what I'm saying, but even Renee Zellweger, I never really thought that was like, I thought she's great. She's adorable. Everybody drink.
That movie's on our list, by the way.
It is on our list. And Selma Hayek, and there's other people like, and Cameron Diaz. Like, I mean, he's always good.
Yes.
And I always buy him in the part. It's weird.
He's a good actor.
He is.
I mean, he's great. He, like I said, total movie star. I actually like his relationship with Jennifer Connelly in Top Gun Maverick. I feel like
go into Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I think that they have like a mature adult relationship that I don't think we always get a lot of in movies.
She's an adult.
Yeah, they don't break them up over stupid shit. She's hesitant with him, as anybody would be when they've been through what they've been through. I like her, like there's a scene where they are together and they're like in her room, and like, I don't know, they have this adult conversation about her relationship with her daughter, and he says like, you seem closer now than you used to be. And she asks him about Goose's son, Rooster, and I have lots of thoughts about Rooster. But it's a very mature scene, and I like it. And I think they have a nice chemistry that I buy a lot more than the Kelly McGillis chemistry in Top Gun.
Kelly McGillis's character is like so much smarter
Yes.
than him.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's problematic for a lot of reasons. Like she's just settling for, I don't know.
And he's hot.
He's hot, but anyway. So
yeah.
Let's go to Maverick. So here it's like, how many years later? 35 years later?
Yeah, I mean, oh my God.
How often does that happen? I mean, I guess in Star Wars, they were like, okay, we can do that now.
I mean, how crazy that Top Gun, the #1 movie of 1986, you can't believe they didn't make a sequel until 2022. That's kind of bananas.
I guess, like, you know, what would be the story?
Right.
And it would have just been more it would have been like Rambo or something. Like, they just make more explosions and sillier. And he wasn't going to do, which I give him respect for, because he wasn't going to do that. They wanted to make something good. And I think they did. I think they made something. I really enjoyed it. I'm like, super surprised how much I really like Maverick. As soon as Kenny Loggins comes on the soundtrack, I'm in.
The Maverick it's the better movie to me. Yeah. To me, by the way. Like, and I mean, the truth is, I haven't sat with Maverick as long as Top Gun. Like, I don't have the, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, emotion.
Relationship.
Yeah, the relationship with Maverick that I have with Top Gun, because obviously I've seen Top Gun a lot. It's been on cable a lot. But, like, Maverick is a really good movie. I like what they do with Tom Cruise's character. I like that we get Val Kilmer again. That Val Kilmer shit in the movie hits me in the feels in in a big way. And both times, I've seen it twice now, both times I'm like, oh, right in the chest, Val Kilmer. I really like the characters, the crew, it's not a crew, whatever. The team he's assembled for this, like, mission. I like Hangman. He's obviously the Iceman type stand-in. I like Bob, who is played by Lewis Pullman. That is Bill Pullman's son. Aww. Which I love. I love that his nickname is Bob. Like, that's his call sign. They have a woman in there. I'm like, thank you very much. They have people of color in there. Thank you very much. Like, these are things that were kind of missing, were missing in Top Gun. I think John Hamm is a really good prick. He's very good at it.
Yeah.
We get a beach football scene instead of volleyball.
And apparently the actors, they did their scene, and then they were like, and Tom Cruise is like, it sucks, we have to redo it. And, like, when they did it the first time, they starved themselves, like, to be that fit. And so then they ate, like, cheeseburgers and tater tots, like, like I would do, like, right when it was done. So then they had to go back into the gym for, like, a week and get ready for it again.
I mean, they're, like, all perfect physical perfect physical specimens. And Miles Taylor doesn't really do anything for me. Like, I'm not like, ooh, it's Miles Taylor. He's very good in this movie. Like,
I'm into him. I liked him in the Paramount the show that was on Paramount about The Godfather, The Offer.
Oh yeah.
I thought he was good. I liked him in here. I think he's great.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to me that the character Rooster dresses just like his dad, has the mustache just like his dad, and sings Great Balls of Fire just like his dad. It's like they really want to hit home. In case you don't know, Rooster is Goose's son. Like, we've done everything humanly possible to make you connect these two characters. I don't think they needed to do that, but it's fine. That's fine. Like,
yeah,
the movie wants to have some of that nostalgia. I'm fine with it. I think they handle it pretty well. Like, they include Danger Zone at the beginning. Rooster's just like his dad. We get some flashbacks to, like, fill in some gaps for people who maybe haven't seen Top Gun, but other than Margo, who hadn't seen Top Gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's, and I do think like Jennifer Connelly deserves a better career than playing someone's girlfriend in a movie like this, but I think she's very good at what they've asked her to do.
I'm not crying for Jennifer Connelly. She has a great career. I mean, she's married to Paul Bettany. I think they have a great life.
Yeah, and she's gorgeous.
I mean, also, like, exactly, she's insanely beautiful and thin and looks great. Yes. I mean,
Oscar winner Jennifer Connelly. I guess I don't need to shed a tear for her, but
she's good. Yeah. She's really good. And who else is in this? Ed Harris is here.
Yeah, Ed Harris pops up.
And who's Val Kilmer's wife? Julia.
Oh, hold on. I can look it up.
Yeah, she's also in Mr. Holland's Opus, which we'll talk about one day.
Louisa Kelly.
Yeah, she's been in a bunch of stuff.
She was in Uncle Buck.
I love Uncle Buck. We'll talk about Uncle Buck one day.
I'm like, Uncle Buck is definitely on our list.
Yeah.
But
Buck Melanoma, Molly Russ's work.
Like, Maverick is like, it's just super entertaining. I really liked Hangman in that movie. Like, I thought the character, maybe it's because I like Iceman so much in Top Gun, and he's obviously the Iceman in this movie. He even gets to be a little bit like a Han Solo at the end. Spoilers for Maverick, coming in at the last minute and saving the day too. There's good stuff in there. It's super watchable. Again, super watchable.
Yeah, the soundtrack is really good, and the special effects. They did a lot of like. Let me look. I'm sorry. I want to look at the IMDb. The first thing that comes up in the trivia. Yeah. Because Tom Cruise was very like he loves doing his own stunts and having everything be real.
Yes.
And the World War II P-51 Mustang seen in this movie is actually Tom Cruise's own airplane. Cruise is an accomplished pilot in real life.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
This is what rich people do. That's why John Travolta flies his own plane too. They all get pilot's licenses when they're rich.
Yes, and he said they had to use real aircrafts and not use CGI, and that's part of the reason why it is exciting. I mean, and that's
good call.
And it's a good call, yeah, because especially since COVID, we see so much green screen for everything. Everything. Yes. I feel like I notice it so much now.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the Avengers of Marvel movies. They're super fun, but they are like a lot of special effects. It's a lot of visual effects and a lot of green screen and stuff like that. And to see like actual physical, practical effects and to see them like really doing those things is really fucking cool. And there's a reason like the movie played in they delayed and delayed and delayed this movie, waiting to get it back into theaters so that we wouldn't just stream it, which we just streamed it anyway. But but there's a reason, like it was something exciting to go see in the theater. It was like worth the trip. I did see it in the theater, but I only went the one time and it was not busy. Just saying.
Yeah, and you liked it, right? You liked seeing it in the theater.
I did love seeing it in the theater with like, it felt like for the first time in a long time, seeing a big movie with a movie star, practical effects. Like, it was super fun. It was just fun. It's a good movie.
It's a good time. And I feel like it's one of the movies I definitely will have it on, especially I just like watching it or just having it on. Like if I'm doing some stuff, like I'm going to have Canva on my laptop and I'm going to do some social media planning. Like I'll put this movie on in the background, and I'll put it on when Val Kilmer's scene comes up and it'll make me all weepy. They figured out some technology to get his voice back.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene. That killed me. And that's also, it was the same thing with, the Star Wars trilogy. And, I people bitch about it, but like for me, for someone who was around when Star Wars was around the first time, to see Mark Hamill in his journey with the character all these years, it really was great to see. It was really fun to see Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer act in a scene together and playing the same character 35 years later.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
that was cool.
Honestly, I was surprised. I'm surprised by how much I like Maverick. The character Maverick from Top Gun wasn't someone that I was like, yes, we should have a whole bunch of movies with Maverick.
He's an asshole.
Because I was like, he's a cocky young guy. Like, fuck off. Like, I don't need more of those movies. Like, I don't really care. But because they waited, because so much time has passed, because the world has changed.
And he grew up.
Yeah, and he grew up. And they had something to say with this movie. And there's a lot of things I really like about it. And, we mentioned the cast and the eye candy in Top Gun Maverick. But also, they don't name, like, a specific bad guy, which I think gives it, like, kind of more of a timeless quality to it. Because it's not like Russia or China, it's like they can sell this movie overseas basically because they don't name any bad guys, but
easily,
But also, it's not just about completing the mission; it's also about getting out alive. I'm like, does anyone even die in Maverick? I'm like, other than Val Kilmer.
I mean, spoilers, right? Yeah. We don't. Yeah, because in the first movie, the goose part really does get to you.
Okay.
I mean, the first time you see that, it's really upsetting.
I know that, like, Top Gun has been spoofed in things like Hot Shots, and, like, they actually have a character named Dead Meat, and he's, like, super nice, and, like, he's gonna die. But when 15-year-old me saw Top Gun, I did not know that Goose was going to die. I saw the movie right when it came out. I really thought this was going to be cocky Tom Cruise gets the girl, wins the trophy, the end. That's what I thought the movie was going to be. And it wasn't those things. Like, I didn't know Goose was going to die. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe everyone knew that, but, like,
no,
I didn't.
Were just young.
Yeah, and it, like, a total fucking bummer because everybody loves Goose. Like, if you don't like Goose, what's wrong with you?
You're a monster.
You're a monster. Yeah. You're broken. There's nothing we can do for you. You should just turn off the show. Like, who doesn't like Goose? He's a fucking delight. I want to hang out with Goose. I'm like,
not anymore.
Not anymore. Not now. Not now.
I like that his son is named Rooster. And I'd like to think that there's like that's because Miles Teller is a David Sedaris fan. And that's why he picked Rooster. Don't mess with the rooster.
Don't mess with the rooster. I didn't even think of that. That is a really good call.
That's what I always think of when I see the rooster. I kept saying, don't mess with the rooster.
It's so funny because it's like rooster, it's like another bird name, I guess. Like, it's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same, like, group or whatever, genus or whatever that's called.
Yeah, I'm like, he couldn't,
I'm not good at math.
Yeah, he's not going to go with, and I'm the duckling. He has to be.
Yeah. I'm the swan.
Call name Swan.
I'm the pigeon.
The pigeon. The parakeet.
I'm a chicken hawk, and you're a chicken.
And I eat chicken, see?
I'll go with son, you bother me.
Chicken hawk is a problematic term that if maybe some folks would like to Google that and they could learn a little something about what a chicken hawk is. Maybe
Hollywood.
Story. I'm like that seems like a name they would have in Hot Shots. Actually, there would be a character named Chicken Hawk. It's. I just really, really like. I know we're going back and forth and we're talking about boat movies, so forgive us all. Like we said, cocktail show. I want to talk about the song Danger Zone and how much I fucking love it. Like, that is an all-timer movie song, in my opinion.
I listened to Sirius XM.
Yeah, me too.
And I love the 70s, 80s channel. They have one just, and because they're so hyper specific now, you can just really go in on that. And Kenny Loggins is fucking great, man. I'm sorry.
He is.
He really is. He plays enjoyable music, and his rocker shit that he goes for in the 80s for soundtracks, I'm into it. I'm totally. And then when he was on Archer, did you ever see him on Archer?
Yes.
He was the best.
Danger Zone. Lana. Danger Zone. So good.
Now I want to watch Archer.
It's such a good song, and the playing with the boys. Like it's so fucking 80s. Like, take my breath away. So 80s and amazing. It's Berlin. The soundtrack is really, really great. And then in the 80s, there was a lot of like 50s and 60s music resurgence. We did a whole episode on Dirty Dancing. That one has it too. So we also get like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay here, and You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling. And
that scene is so cringe.
It's so cringe. Let's talk about the love story cringe that's happening in this movie. He sees her first of all, he makes a bet with Goose about like he's gonna nail one of these chicks at the bar. That's their thing, And he sees Kelly McGillis's character, and he's like, yes, the one with the sweater wrapped around her shoulders. There's like half naked girls walking around, and he's like, yeah, I want
the one that looks at when she went to Barnard College, like just got off the boat from Barnard College. The preppy handbook is in her purse.
The one with the like sweater tied around her shoulder that's like meeting an older man at the bar. That's the one. Like, so he does the whole like You've Lost This Lovin' Feeling, which is apparently his move because everyone else joins in and they all know it. And it at least gets him a seat at the bar, and she plays pretty dumb. She plays dumb with him, like, oh, you're a pilot? Oh, and then she blows him off, and she goes to the ladies' room, and he follows her into the ladies' room. This is a red flag. Ladies, don't let men follow you into the ladies' room. And he's immediately like, we could just do it, like right here on the counter. I'm all, ew. And then it turns out she's a civilian contractor. She's like an instructor there, basically. And she doesn't date students, but she pretty quickly breaks her rule, invites him over for dinner, to which he shows up late after playing volleyball.
I remember that now. Yeah, I saw this twice. Like, and that last time I saw it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm a little... Yeah, he was late for dinner at her place.
Yeah.
And he acted like a dick.
Well, so he shows up and he's like, sorry, I'm late. And he stinks, by the way, because he's been sweating playing volleyball. And he's like, if it's okay with you, I'm going to use your shower.
Take a shower.
Yeah. And
she's right.
Yeah. And she's like, no. Like,
go jump in the ocean. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah, seriously, that's what I would say. Go jump in the ocean. She's like, I'm hungry. Like, I've been waiting for you to get here. And... and that's fine. Like, they have like a fine conversation. I like at the end of it, like he says, thank you. I really enjoyed being here. And he leaves. Now, I was like, that line is very sweet and it's very polite. I don't think they have very good chemistry. I think there's something off about it.
No, and that's why they did the reshoots. Yeah. And that's why. So then the reshoot that's like I said, when she comes in and she has the hair under the baseball cap, because she was already filming maybe the movie with Jodie Foster. I don't know. There was some other movie that she was filming.
I think she was filming Made in Heaven. Remember that one with like Timothy Hutton? I'm going to look it up.
That movie is the one he did with Deborah Winger when he was married to Deborah Winger. Remember that?
I
remember that?
Is that what it's called? Made in Heaven? And it's like Kelly McGillis.
Yes.
Made in Heaven. Yeah. And Deborah Winger, you're right.
She's his angel, and she's a cross-dressing angel, which was like cross-dressing was an expression at the time. I don't even know what we would say now. But like, they're like made to be lovers.
Yeah. That movie's weird.
I had such a thing for Timothy Hutton. He was like my movie boyfriend for years.
I get it.
Until he turned out to be a creep.
Yeah, there's this whole thing where like he meets her in heaven. He meets Kelly McGillis in heaven.
That's right.
And then, and they're like in love in heaven, and then they like are sent to like other like bodies, and their lives are like fucked up because they're supposed to be together and they're not together. It's a weird movie.
Right.
Like,
she marries a guy.
Yeah.
That's a filmmaker, and then he becomes like a jazz musician.
I think
do you remember
that's
this?
Right. We need to put this movie on the list because this movie is bizarre. But she had dyed. Yeah, she had dyed her hair brown. So the reshoots. That's why we get the like shadow sex scene. And, like she's got her hair up in the cap. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I remember this. It's because I saw everything with any movie with Tim. Turk 182. Remember that movie?
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, they filmed that in my neighborhood. That's in my book.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We should put that on. We'll do a whole bunch of Timothy Hutton movies.
No, that's okay. He's a creep. That's believe me, his oeuvre we can avoid.
Got it.
But anyway, yeah. So she had her hair really dark. So they had to do a reshoot, and they're like making out in an elevator. She's wearing a hat.
Yes.
And actually, there they have some chemistry, but everywhere else, yeah. And there's also a scene where like she's wearing like. And I don't know if it's like an 80s thing, but like she's wearing black hose with a dress.
Yeah.
Like, and she's like in front of all these men, and like, they're not going to take you seriously if you're dressed like.
Yeah. Like a pinup
Vanity
girl.
Six. Yeah. Like
Vanity Six.
I also think in my head is, I got a meeting in the ladies' room. It's a silly movie, but it's very watchable. This one has a little more teeth to it. There's a lot more about consequences and just about he's really kind of like, wow, I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get as far in my career as I wanted to. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not, like he's really kind of dealing with shit. And it's like I think he's broke too. Like he could like his
That's
credit
right.
card
His card doesn't go through.
Right. So I think he's dealing with, I think he's really kind of like, wow, what did I do? And Val Kilmer, well, spoiler, Val Kilmer dies.
Yeah.
And they had that really amazing funeral. That's a really amazing funeral.
It is. And it's just, that part just hits me in the feels. Like,
especially because it's Val Kilmer.
Yes.
And also it's really nice, people nowadays versus back then, like to see an actor get ill and then allow themselves for people to see them, in a different form than they were.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Like it's, they're okay with it. And
it's a hard thing to do because, I'm not going to lump in all actors, but I would say a majority of actors are pretty vain. Understatement.
Well, also a lot of people too.
Yeah. And to show yourself when you're not as beautiful as you used to be is hard.
It's hard. That would be hard for anybody.
Yes.
And especially in HD on a big screen.
Yes.
So I think I give him, I know. And also he can't talk and he had a great voice.
Yeah.
And I think it's challenging and he's a good actor. And
he is.
I think their scene together is great. I think
it's so good.
Yeah.
I love
it's a nice emotional center.
I think so too. I love that the two characters obviously have a friendship, that Val Kilmer has looked out for him over the years. Because the Val Kilmer character in Top Gun, he's really smart. He knows. Like, he says it the whole time, like, you're reckless. Like, why I wouldn't want you up there with me. Like, you're not a good wingman. You would just leave me, Would you want to go into battle with someone who'll leave you to show off? Like, do you want to go into battle with the bandit from Smokey and the Bandit? No, you do not. Like, he's going to ditch you to show off. So Iceman is very smart.
Yeah.
And he's very smart in Maverick as well. I'm going through my notes to make sure that I say everything I want to say about Top Gun before I just start talking about how much I love Maverick. So you didn't see it for like a really long time, so you obviously already knew like Goose was gonna die. Yeah. Like that had been spoiled for you years ago. Correct. Yeah, teenage Sonia did not know. Hit me so hard. Totally cried in the theater.
I bet that would be really shocking, though. Yeah.
So sad. And, you know, watching it now, I'm also like, Maverick, the character of Maverick in the first Top Gun is a frustrating character because he doesn't learn his lesson until the very end, which, you know, is movie structure. But he is constantly like leaving his wingman. He's constantly showing off. And eventually Goose dies. It's ruled not his fault. But I was thinking about how fucked up it is that Goose dies because they're at school. They're like in a training program. They're in like a competition. For him to die at school, it's not like they're in a war. They're not in battle with anyone, and he dies. I'm all, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
I wonder why didn't they bring Meg Ryan back? Did she just not want to do it?
I don't know. I'm like, Meg Ryan hasn't done movies in a long time. Maybe she didn't want it. Maybe they felt they needed it for the story, for her character not to be there. They say her character died. Did they say it was cancer?
I've missed that.
There is a whole thing about.
I miss things sometimes.
You're fine. The big issue between Maverick and Rooster is that Maverick pulled Rooster's Naval Academy papers, like, and delayed his career by like 4 years because he didn't think he was ready. And it's revealed that the Meg Ryan character, Rooster's mother, made Maverick promise that Rooster wouldn't fly like his dad. And that's kind of a fucked up thing to put on Maverick, but he did it, and he didn't tell Rooster, like, your mom asked me to do this. So there's this nobility thing where it's like, he already hates me. I didn't want him to hate her too, you know, and now she's not here.
Oh, how did I miss that?
I forget where they talk about it. I forget where they talked about it in the movie. He talks about it with Penny. And it's, you know, it's a bummer that they mention that she's dead. I'm like, oh, he doesn't have his parents anymore. I'm all, that's really sad.
That is sad.
I assume
you can't kill the rooster.
You can kill the rooster.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
People who don't understand David Sedaris are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
They should go read some David Sedaris because
you should, by the way.
Because the shit about the rooster is really, really funny.
The rooster is his brother.
Yes.
That's his nickname, and he's fucking hilarious.
And he's just like, he's like the youngest brother. He's the brother that came like well after all the other kids are like grown up and moved out. So he's like he's had like none of the rules that they've had. And like his parents like just let this kid run wild, and all of the other kids are like very academic and smart, and like Rooster's just like, I don't know, man, just doing my thing. I'm making barbecue sauce now, and I'm calling it the rooster sauce, or you know, just like whatever. Like, it's very funny.
He's hilarious.
I read about the Kelly McGillis character because the script went through like a bunch of different things, and as someone who read the article that it was based on, do they talk? Is there like a Kelly McGillis character in the art? No, it's just about the like school.
It's actually it was more about. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember now. It was a Life magazine article, and it was like late 70s, and it was just about the training in and of itself.
Okay.
And at that time, I was like the 10-year anniversary or something. What was called the 10-year anniversary. Now we realize it was actually 1949, but they never actually. The better story is like someday will come out.
Mm-hmm.
Where's that story? Okay, Schwartz, that's the guy's name. He won in 1949, and then he crashed in the mountains near Loretta Lynn.
I want that story.
All of it. It was a Tuskegee Airman. Like, his life was already exciting.
Come on, get on it.
Get on it, Hollywood.
So originally, the original script, the Charlie character was either going to be an aerobics instructor, I'm like, okay, that's some
like
80s
perfect.
shit. Like perfect. Or she was going to be just like a groupie that like hangs around the bar and like hooks up with, with enlisted.
So that's like Deborah Winger.
Yes.
And yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's already been done.
But then the scriptwriters learned about this woman named Christine Fox. And
yes, I do remember that.
Yes. And her call sign was Legs. And she was a civilian mathematician who worked for the Center of Naval Analysis, and she worked at like this kind of school, so they like changed the character. And there's a million actresses that tried out for this role. I mean, you understand the casting of a Kelly McGillis. She's a very like smart person. She gives off that vibe. She had just done Witness. That movie's fucking great. If you haven't seen Witness, see Witness. But there's like all these other actresses that were like approached or turned the role down, including Ali Sheedy.
And she turned it down?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, she says she regrets that. But
yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
She's like, nobody wants to see this. And then it turned out to be this huge hit. But then other people were like Tatum O'Neal.
She would have been good.
Jodie Foster.
She would have been good.
Yeah. Daryl Hannah.
She would have been good.
Diane Lane.
Oh my God, she would have been good.
I love Diane Lane.
Yeah.
This Sarah Jessica Parker. I feel like she would be too young for that part.
But they do that all the time. Nicole Kidman was like a brain surgeon.
Oh my God,
that's right. In one of those movies.
That's right. In Days of Thunder, she's like a brain. Yeah, she's like a baby. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. And then a couple other women were like Linda Hamilton, and then Carrie Fisher.
No.
I'm like,
she'd throw him out the door. She would just like destroy him.
Carrie Fisher wouldn't talk to these dudes at all. Like, she would be like, fuck all these dudes.
This guy is such a dimwit. I know. No.
And then for Tom Cruise's role, the main person who turned it down was Matthew Modine, who said the film was too pro-military for him.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, he did go on to do Full Metal Jacket, which
I was gonna say
not pro-military either. So not pro-military. So I guess I get it, but
that movie's fucked up.
The movie's seriously fucked up. And then some other people are like Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Nicolas Cage, John Cusack. This one
Cage would have been fun.
Yeah, this one I can't see at all. Matthew Broderick. No. I was like, this is like the same year as Ferris Bueller.
Iceman, please, bring my wingman. That's my Matthew Broderick.
It's really good. That's really good. Here's another one that you're gonna die. Scott Baio.
Sure, Chachi.
Sure, you turned down the role, Scott Baio.
Sure, he turned it down. Sure
right. Right.
He tested for it. Sure, he did.
Mm-hmm. And then Sean Penn. And they also say Tom Hanks. And I'm like, is that true? I don't know if I buy that one.
I'm sure Hanks tried out for everything. I'm sure everything was run by him. He was true. He was, yeah. Sean Penn would have been good. He's good at everything.
Yeah. I'm like, he's a creep too, but he's really good at stuff.
He's a good actor, though. He's believable. Everything he does.
It's true. I also, Take My Breath Away won the Oscar for Best Song.
And Berlin was upset because it was so pro-military.
Yeah. But they did it anyway.
And then she performed at Trump's, was it New Year's Eve party or something?
That's right. Yeah. Thank God you reminded me. I thought you might like to know some of the other songs that were nominated, because this is pretty good. So, Take My Breath Away won, but other songs were Glory of Love from Karate Kid Part 2.
It's a great song. I will say that I don't love Peter Cetera, but I do like that song.
Yeah. Here's a song I don't know called Life in a Looking Glass from That's Life. Don't know that one.
I don't know any of what you just said.
Here is a song that is awesome. Mean Green Mother from Outer Space, Little Shop of Horrors. Song is rad.
We've got to do that movie one day.
Yeah, we do.
Is one of my favorites.
You know what? We should do it next week. We could just bump it up. I'm fine with that. I love that movie. And then the other one is Somewhere Out There from American Tail.
Somewhere out there. That song makes me cry.
It's
really
super
sweet.
sad. That song
It's
makes me sad.
it's really sad. Okay, do you want to hear? Is it time for me to do the songs?
I also have other movies.
Oh, go ahead.
So 10 years ago in August, Tony Scott died, the director.
Yeah, how?
Let's look it up. I want to make sure we get that right. Let's see. How
Yeah,
did
I'm sorry,
he
I
die?
said
No,
that
you're
loud.
fine. It does not say here. Hold on. Let's go down. I'm going to go down to the sorry. It does I can't see where it doesn't say. Did he? Oh, cancer. Fuck cancer.
Oh, fuck cancer.
Fuck cancer. I thought you might like to hear some of the other movies that Tony Scott did.
Of course.
So he did Top Gun in 86. In 87, he did Beverly Hills Cop 2.
That's my parents' favorite Beverly Hills Cop movie. We talked about that before. They could quote it for you. They loved it. And
Yeah,
Gilbert Gottfried's performance.
It's so funny.
I
love
love
it. I love that that's their favorite.
No, mom would like every once in a while she'd get frustrated. She'd yell, "Bitch!" like Gilbert Gottfried does in the movie. And it would make me laugh every time.
He had 2 movies in 1990. Revenge.
With Meredith Stowe?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
right. And Kevin Costner. Madeline
Yep.
Stowe. That's right.
Madeline, damn it.
And then the other one, you just brought this one up, Days of Thunder,
Yep.
which is
Car movie.
It's Top Gun with cars, basically. And that's where he met Nicole Kidman, and she's playing like a brain surgeon. You know, like
It's like 22,
yeah,
23.
like you do when you're 22. The Last Boy Scout. That's Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. I'm like, okay, this one's real great. True Romance.
I'm not a big fan.
Really? I love that one.
I know. I like everybody. I know. And I love Rosanna Arquette. I'm sorry, Patricia Arquette, but I love the Arquette. Sorry, I'm good with all the Arquettes.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
What do you think about 1995's Crimson Tide?
I don't even.
That's
I have no
that's
feelings.
the submarine movie. Sorry, everyone.
There's a difference.
Cocktail Hour. 1996, he did The Fan.
That's the baseball movie.
Yes. With
Yeah.
De Niro and Wesley Snipes. And then...
Benicio del Toro.
That's right. Oh, my gosh. I hadn't seen...
Alonso Chico.
Your impressions are spot on today.
Before he gets stabbed. Yeah.
And then 1998, he did Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman and Will Smith. There's a whole bunch of other movies here. And then the last one he did was called Unstoppable. Do you know this one where they're on a train and it's like Denzel Washington and Chris Pine?
No. No.
I remember thinking it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But it's no Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Bitch.
Now let's hear your songs.
Okay, so this was the week ending May 16th, 1986 is when the first Top Gun movie comes out. Number 10. There's some great songs here. Robert Palmer, Addicted to Love.
Song is dope.
Fucking dope song. Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, If You Leave.
That's a good song too.
Good song. I love this song. Miami Sound Machine. And featuring Gloria Stefan. Bad Boys. Bad Boys.
Make you feel so good.
This probably is one of my favorite Phil Collins songs, Take Me Home.
Oh,
Such a good song.
that album was
So good.
everywhere. It had the studio on it, and yeah,
There's like 3 years he put out albums.
Yeah.
And like he was constantly on the radio. I love this. The Outfield, Your Love. Such a good song.
Still love that song. I go to
Same.
Oakland A's games and they still play that song all the time.
Are they from? They're not from Oakland, are they?
No, just because they're called the outfield.
That's the. Speaking of Sean Penn, Madonna, they were married at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Live to Tell.
That's a really good song too.
It is a good song. This is a great song. Janet Jackson, What Have You Done For Me Lately?
Oh, I love this whole album.
This is not a great song. This is Van Halen. Why Can't This Be Love?
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
None. Nope, not. Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls. Great song.
Oh my God, that's a good. These are all hits, man.
I know,
These
right?
Jams. These are all jams.
And number 1, Whitney Houston, Greatest Love of All.
Oh, Whitney, The Voice.
The Voice.
The Voice. I loved Whitney Houston songs.
She's special.
She's super special. That's a good list.
That was a good year.
Yeah. Should we take a break and then talk about what else we're dorking out about?
Sure.
Okay. How long are we supposed to be quiet? Sorry.
Okay, I think that's good.
Okay. Actually, I should write down something for this. Okay. Got it. My friend, what else are you dorking out about?
I just saw, well, first of all, the Selling of the OC, I think that's what it's called. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's from the same people that did Selling Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're in the OC, and it's the itty bitty Oppenheimer boys. They're the twin brothers that they look up to Tom Cruise and say, gee, I wish I was as tall as you. And if you Google them, they say they're 5'6", and I say,
you're all, you
that's
wish.
Adorable. Your platform.
What is it called? They're the
Oppenheimer
boys. Real estate. Okay.
They're real estate agents.
Gotcha. Okay.
They have an office, and it's on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles, I think that's where it is. But Selling Sunset, that's the name of the show. And the joke is that people who live in LA are like, they're never in there. Like, nobody's ever in that office. Like, that's the big joke. It's just like, anyway, they're in the OC. And from what I could tell, I watched it last night. Like, I binged the whole fucking thing.
Oh my gosh. You already watched the whole thing. You're hilarious.
Oh yeah. It was so hot yesterday. It was 85 degrees and it was 80% humidity and it was like storming. So I was like indoors and I was stuck. So I was like, I'm just going to watch this fucking thing. And there's 2 women that are supposed to be the bullies. And at the end, everyone's mad at these women. And if you follow the hashtag, everyone's like, these women are not the enemy. Like, everyone that says that they're like, these are the heroes and these are the bullies are like, what the fuck are you people even talking about? It's a lot of house porn. There's some really beautiful homes. It's a lot of really dumb people making really poor choices.
My favorite.
Yes. And it's just kind of hilarious. I like it better than the Sunset Strip. It's a little more down to earth. And I found that enjoyable. And what else? I saw Nope.
Ooh, what did you think?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
It was long. It was in 4 different parts.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I understood any of them. Nobody told me Michael Wincott was in here. I love Michael Wincott. I haven't seen him in a movie in a long time. He's the actor with the deep voice.
Oh,
the one from The Crow.
Yes.
The bad guy in The Crow.
Yes.
I'm not sure. That's my answer.
I think that it's funny you say that because I have a similar movie I'm going to talk about where I'm not sure. I also saw Nope and like really liked a lot of it. So, but it
looks amazing.
It looks amazing. I love the cast. Love the cast.
Keke Palmer. I want her in everything.
She's a star.
She's a star.
She's a star.
She is a star. I mean, I love everybody in there.
Yeah.
And the music's great. And it looks amazing. And there's a lot of like, I mean, it did make me want to see a bunch of movies that I loved. from my childhood and stuff. But at the end, I was like, what the fuck was that all about? I'm not even sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think if I ranked my Jordan Peele's, like, you have like Get Out and Us and Nope, like that's the order I would put them in. Like, that's, for me, like, I love Get Out. I think it's
a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. And like, I think Us is like another one where I was like, this is really creepy. This is really good. The performances are so great. And then the end is like something where I'm like, what are we doing? And that's what I kind of had with Nope, where I was like, there's a whole build-up, there's a whole side story with Steven Yeun that I was like, I love him. I think he's so great. But I was like, it's very strange. I'm like, it feels like it's part of a different movie. And then the end is something where I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, but I still like it, and I'm thinking about it weeks later.
It was $19.99 just to rent it. So I'm going to wait till it's cheaper, and then I'll watch it again when it's streaming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The jury's kind of out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I saw it. I mean, I'm gonna stick with him. I like him as a filmmaker.
Me too.
But I'm confused.
Yeah. I went through that. I watched the movie Men, which is... Did I already talk about this on the show? Or did I just talk to you about it off mic?
It's hard to remember.
Okay. I'm sorry, everybody, if I already talked about this on the air. I don't think I did. But I think Margo and I talked about it off mic. It's directed by Eric Garland. It's the same director who did Ex Machina and Annihilation. And this movie is like a woman's husband dies either by suicide or he slipped and fell off a building. And they really don't know which one it is, believe it or not. And she goes to this like remote, like English countryside home to like clear her head. Her and her husband were like, she had just said, I'm leaving you, I'm divorcing you. And he like hit her and there was all this stuff. It's very awful. And the movie's very creepy. And like every man she encounters in this town is played by the same actor. And she doesn't seem to realize it. And the movie's very clearly doing this all men are the same kind of thing. But there's like a creep factor going on. The movie feels very eerie and creepy. And I was like, what is it saying? And this is super interesting. And then again, the last 10 minutes, this movie goes off the fucking rails. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what is this movie trying to say? And I don't know how I feel about that ending. And here I am like a week later, and I'm still thinking about it and like Googling it and like reading what other people are saying about it. And I kind of like when that happens. So I'm like, so I guess I like the movie, or maybe this is what Patrick Bromley has sometimes referred to as the ambitious failure. Like there's like all these like really good things about it, but ultimately it's a failure. I don't know how I feel about it. And I can't recommend it to people because I was like, no, it's too fucking weird to recommend to people. But I still like it and I'm thinking about it. And that sounds like that's what you've had with Nope. It sounds very similar.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it. It's, it's 2.5 hours and it's it does things that I like. It's got some sci-fi, it's got some horror, it's got California in the mountains, it has horses. It's like, it's things I like. But for a lot of people that would be like, what? No. But like, no, that's not going to do it for me.
Right.
I was also going to say, it's on, I'm going to look up the title. It's on Amazon. It's Tim from, is it Project Runway?
Oh, Tim Gunn.
Tim Gunn. So on Amazon, they have a series. Amazon Originals. Fuck me.
You're fine.
No, I'm not. Making the Cut.
Oh yes. Okay.
Audrey.
So,
We're going to
the Red Lobster.
And Heidi Klum. And it's Nicole Richie, a person I never really thought about before.
Yeah.
Do you remember when she and Paris Hilton had the show?
Okay. The first season of The Simple Life was actually a pleasant surprise. That's what I remember.
They were really cute.
That first season is a pleasant surprise. Yeah.
They were both really funny.
Yeah.
Like, they were both really, like, I thought they were,
yes.
like, yeah, they were adorable. They were really, really cute. She's a designer, and she has, like, really good taste, and they have these designers, and it's a design competition. It's just like Project Runway, but they give them more time to do things, and I like that because then they can be more creative. And this particular group of designers are really good, and the designs are really good. I do like on Project Runway because you have to really be talented in order to, you have to really create something. And I don't like those shows when they're like, okay, here's some Scotch tape and some newspapers, make it a dress. It's like,
right.
I like I want to see a dress. I want to see a thing. And so, and they've only had like 3 episodes out right now. But and the first episode was great because they let them all just have a collection, and they had like 2 or 3 pieces they each got to do, and they got to work on it for a few months. And it's just like, just show us who you are. And it's like a runway piece, and then it's like the piece that's like for the shops, that kind of thing. And so you really got to see their personalities, and it was really like some super talented people. And then they, the thing is that they can sell it on Amazon. So nowadays, like back then, you couldn't. So you could, there's that aspect too.
Okay.
So they have like 3 episodes. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's on there.
Yeah.
And then I've talked about it before. There's a podcast called the Sam Pancake Hour, and it's Sam Pancake Monday afternoon movie. And Sam Pancake is a character actor. That's his real name. And he's from West Virginia. And they had one TV station when he was growing up, ABC. And when he was a kid, and if you were, you were sick, you got to watch TV in the afternoons. And they would play these TV movies. And then the one that he did this week recently was called Go Ask Alice. And it's based on a book that was very popular in the 70s. And it was supposedly a diary. And it turns out it's total phony baloney.
Yes.
Like, this girl never existed. But they just did an episode about it, and it was really funny. And it made me go, the movie's available on Amazon. You could rent it. And it made me, and I love TV movies from the 70s and 80s. They just, like, crack me up. So
I will listen to that because that sounds like my jam.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I watched the first 2 episodes of It's Great British Bake Off Juniors. It's with,
how was that?
With kids. And I'm like, I love it, and it hurts at the same time because they're kids and they're adorable. Everybody drink. They're real cute, and some of them, they're really good bakers. Like, they obviously put them in here because they actually know how to bake and like know how to talk about what they're doing. But they also actually eliminate a kid from the show. And I was like, it's so hard. Like, they're kids, and I was like, I kind of wish they weren't cutting them, could they just like give out Star Baker and let them all stay, and then whoever has the most Star Bakers at the end wins or something, instead of cutting them.
Because get everybody trophies.
Yes,
Sonia.
totally. I'm the worst. It's just because they're just kids, and like they cut them, and then they cry, but they're also very sweet, where they're just like, well, I tried my best, and somebody has to go kind of thing. But it also, they're young. Like, I think the oldest one might be 14, so we're not talking about like 17 or 18-year-olds even. We're talking about and some of them are like 10. So that's like my son's age. And I was like, oh my God, the fact that they can even do all the things they're doing is amazing to me. And all that shit looks delicious. sometimes it's messy. Like, these kids are not neat, by the way. They're not like, their stations are fucking messes. Like, you would be horrified if you were their parents and they made that mess in your kitchen. You would be like, what the hell? But like, they still are able to like make something. And I know adults who can't do that. So I'm impressed. I'm going to keep watching because I think it's very sweet. But I kind of wish they
with kids like you do.
Yeah, I'm like, it's hard to watch them get eliminated. That's all. Like, and
Valerie Bertinelli has one too.
Oh yeah, I've watched one of those before too.
Yeah, it's like on the Cooking Network or on the Food Network.
Yeah.
It's like the baking challenge for kids or something. And you could tell she's such a sweetheart. Like, you could tell like she really like roots for them and like she hates telling them no.
Yeah. And they don't have the same hosts, so it's not like Paul Hollywood and, you know, Prue and Nigel and all those people. It's instead one of the hosts is Liam, who is actually, I think he was super young. He was like 16 or 17 on his season of Great British Baking Show. And so now he's one of the hosts, and he's a delight. Like, I'm happy to see him like hosting. And then they got like a food critic, and they are very sweet. Like, they always point out like positive things. They don't talk about how shitty some of the bakes look, because they do look shitty. They just run out of time and they're doing their best. I love how very, very positive they are. They're very sweet in their feedback. It's just hard to watch them get cut, but maybe I'm just being overly sensitive. But the kids are really great. And the things with all the Great British Baking shows is the casting. It's the casting. Like, they do such a good job picking those contestants. Always. Like, you always really like them. And it's the same with the kids. Like, they're not like Hollywood precocious little adults. They're real kids. And I really like it. I'm going to keep watching.
That's good.
And it's on Netflix, so enjoy. Yeah. I also want to mention that if y'all don't know, What We Do in the Shadows new season has started, and that show is hilarious. It's like my fucking favorite comedy on TV right now. Like, consistently makes me laugh out loud. Do you watch that one? I forget.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah. It's on Hulu.
Yes, and I think all the characters are hilarious, all of them. Matt Berry's line deliveries. Like, I feel like he should win every award for everything. Just his line deliveries make me laugh. He's so funny. He's just fucking funny. It's such a good show. It's on FX. You can watch it on Hulu. Do yourself a favor. Go back and watch from the beginning if you haven't watched it all. Even watch the movie if you haven't seen the movie, because it works for me. It's so funny. I think that's all my stuff. Do you have anything else you're dorking out about?
No, I think that's it.
That's plenty.
I think we gave them plenty of show.
I think so. We gave them 2 movies and some recs. That's a lot.
We did.
Yeah. Margo, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on social media with all the old people at on Twitter and Instagram at Brooklyn Fitchick. My site is brooklynfitchick.com, and I'm on the TikTok at Margo Donahue.
And y'all should be following Margo. Her book is coming out really soon. It is called Filmed in Brooklyn. She's been posting snippets on her Instagram. It looks so good. I'm super proud of my friend. I'm like,
thank you.
I can't wait for your book to come out. It's going to be so great. Yay!
Yay!
You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. If you like the show, you can find us at dorkingoutshow.com. You can also find us, you can email us at dorkingoutshow@gmail.com. We'll send you some stickers if you like. Or you could give us some reviews on wherever you listen to your podcast. That would be fabulous. It'll really offset the 1-star reviews we get from people who don't like our voices or the fact that we breathe. How did Lady talk about film bad? 1 star. This was really fun. I am so glad we talked about Top Gun and Maverick. This was a good one. Margo.
I think I'm going to ride into the danger zone now.
You can be my wingman anytime.